A powerful 6.8 magnitude earthquake has struck the Kingdom of Morocco. Media reports state that the death toll has surpassed 1,000, with hundreds in hospital. The country's interior ministry says it's the strongest quake in more than a century. Well, let's speak now to a Gift of the Givers founder, Dr. Imtiaz Sooliman. Dr. Sooliman, good evening to you. Thanks for your time. You've been involved in many rescue missions across the world. Your first thoughts seeing the visuals coming out of Morocco today?
Yes, Kathy. You know, we've been getting feedback from one of our Gift of the Givers team members is a Moroccan. He lives in Denmark and has been on many missions with us. He also sent us messages this morning to say, you know what, are we on standby or are we going to respond? And the issue is that we don't ever respond until there's a call made for international assistance from the head of state. And I know a lot of countries have offered Morocco assistance, but right now their own military and their own people are dealing with the crisis. You know, so we respect their autonomy and you wait for them. If they find they can't cope, then of course our teams have already been on standby from this morning. All the messages have come in. The medical guys are ready. The search and rescue guys are ready. They're keen to go in if necessary.
The international response to what has taken place there has really been quite significant. I think world leaders not only offering their condolences, commiserations, but like you are doing tonight, also saying that, you know, they stand ready to offer support. What is it that we need to understand about, you know, a disaster, a natural disaster of this nature?
Well, the biggest issue is that people caught up in the rubble. There's many aspects to this. Number one, you know, given the magnitude of the earthquake, I don't know how stable the ground is in that area, but when the buildings collapse, the first thing is, of course, to get people out as fast as possible to save lives. Immediately after that, the next phase is to move those to hospitals, those within the rubble, you know, and those who managed to escape but got some injury. The injuries could be of various categories, lots of fractures, head injuries, you know, broken bones, crushed injuries, and some people fortunately get away with just a couple of scratches. The third thing is then, of course, to start organizing people. Unfortunately, family members get separated. Parents can't find their children. Children get separated from each other. And the next phase would be to provide shelter, because you have to be careful of aftershocks. And aftershocks could be run into the hundreds and can cause severe further damage. And if people don't move out of the sites of the building, there can be far more deaths in the aftershocks. So you've got to move them to a safe place. But then the question is, you know, how are the roads? How's the mountain pass? Is it accessible? Can you move freely? You know, how easy is it to move that volume of people? Fortunately, it's in inverted commas. There's only 840,000 people in that place. Unlike the earthquake that hit Turkey and Syria, where 15 million people were affected. So the roads is another issue here. Fortunately, we don't have any danger of tsunami because there's no way near water. And then, of course, hello?
Dr. Sooliman, how important is time when responding to a disaster of this nature, especially now that it's still very much in the part of rescue operations, and the aim is to try and save as many lives as possible?
Time is critical. You know, the faster you get in, the more people you can take out. That's an earthquake. After a while, there's no point. So, you know, but people give up sometimes too early. We've seen people come out alive 8 to 10 days after an earthquake. So time is critical. Immediately the earthquake happens, you know, sooner can get in to take people out. But at the same time, taking care of the rescuers that's coming, because the aftershocks can drop the buildings on them. So it's the balance between getting in very fast, but worrying about your own safety as you try to get other people out.
International solidarity, Dr. Sooliman, what would you say that have been some of the patterns that we've seen around there, especially when it comes to supporting countries facing disasters? You've given the example of Syria, of Turkey, you know, and just how important would you say that that is in a moment like this?
International solidarity is critical. You know, it gives people hope. It lets people know that government, you know, that you're not alone in your endeavors to try to save your own people. Your people are looking at you as a government to say, what have you done for us? Can you help us? It's good for the government that international support comes. It's good for the people that international support wants to come. In the case of, again, I compare to the Turkey earthquake, if they didn't have the international support, many more people would have died. 171 countries responded to that earthquake. But it was a monster of an earthquake. The fact that countries have so quickly, send messages of support to the Moroccan government and on standby to respond immediately. It's not only good for Morocco, it's good for, for humanity. It's good for compassion. It's good for the world at large that we do have caring governments. We do have people that care for nations, and we have people who care for humanity at large. So when you do that, it's a very, very positive sign, and it encourages those who have not made an attempt, who have not called, or who are sort of not geared for this kind of thing, to say, you know what, we also as human beings need to act. So it has multiple messages for humanity, but it's phenomenal that so many countries have responded already to offer their assistance.
Gift of the Givers founder, Dr. Imtiaz Sooliman, thanks for your time tonight.